Why is a JavaScript string considered a primitive data type? Imagine you're working on a website and need to display some text. You might think of a string as just a bunch of characters, but there's more to it. Let's explore why JavaScript treats strings as a special kind of data. In JavaScript, data types are like the basic building blocks of your code. They tell the computer what kind of data you are working with. Primitive data types are the simplest form of data, meaning they are not objects and don't have properties or methods of their own. The 7 primitive types are string, number, bigint, boolean, symbol, null, and undefined. Strings fall into this group because they are just sequences of characters stored as a single, simple value. One key reason JavaScript considers strings primitive is because they are immutable. Once you create a string, you cannot change it. If you try to modify a string, JavaScript creates a new string instead. This is different from objects, which can be changed after they are created. For example, if you have a string saying, hello, and want to change it to hello, JavaScript makes a new string with the capital H. Strings are stored directly in memory at the lowest level of JavaScript's engine. This makes them lightweight and quick to access. Unlike objects, which are stored as references pointing to data elsewhere, primitive strings are stored as simple values. This design helps keep JavaScript fast and efficient when handling text. Even though strings are primitive, JavaScript allows you to use methods like toUpperCase or on them. How does that work? JavaScript temporarily wraps the primitive string in a string object behind the scenes. This process, called auto-boxing, creates a temporary object so you can use methods. Once the method runs, the object disappears, and the string remains a primitive. It's also important to know the difference between string literal and string objects. When you write hello with quotes, you're creating a string primitive. But if you use new string, hello, you're creating a string object, which is heavier and acts more like an object with properties and methods. For most coding, using string literal is better because they are simpler and faster. Understanding that strings are primitive helps you write better code. Since they are immutable, any operation that seems to change a string actually creates a new one. This affects how you handle memory and performance. Also, knowing the difference between primitive strings and string objects can prevent bugs, especially when working with strict type checks or functions that expect specific data types. To sum up, JavaScript considers a string a primitive data type because it is a simple, unchangeable sequence of characters stored as a basic value. This makes strings quick to work with and easy to manage, while still allowing you to use helpful methods through temporary object wrappers. Recognizing this helps you understand how JavaScript manages data and improves your ability to write efficient, bug-free code.